the scariest mythical creatures in the world. From Arizona, Skinwalker. From the ocean, Mermaid. From Japan, Tick Tick. From Puerto Rico, Chupacabras. From the ocean, CHTULHU. From Canada, Wendigo.
He saw something that looked like a person, but as he went to check, this happened. Desert explorer the Trek Walker found an odd-looking pit nearby through Google Maps and decided to see what was inside. As the man arrives, he notices what looks like a plank or person at the bottom, but doesn't get any response, so he goes down there.
I thought it was just somebody standing there. Like I just come up to this ledge, I'm the only one out here, and I see this like figure down there standing. It's kind of freaky, to be honest.
After smelling what he describes as a dead animal, he tries to see what it is, but an alarm system starts going off.
It smells terrible. It smells like a dead animal or something. Hear that? I hear like a beep.
In my mind, I'm thinking, did I trigger an alarm or something like that?
Scared, he climbs back up and finds out it's just his drone controller acting up. Now, as the man uses his drone to see what's inside, he makes an unsettling discovery. He finds this ominous monk statue at the entrance. Unable to explore any further, the man decides it's time to leave.
The following creature sighting comes from Machu Picchu, Peru. A man has a security camera set up in his backyard for safety reasons. A white picket fence lines the outskirts of his small yard, keeping out intruders. But on this night, just outside of the fence area, something deeply disturbing was seen. The man's security camera was set off due to motion being detected, so it began recording. But the man wishes it never recorded, so he didn't have to see this ugly and completely unnerving sight. The quick clip is horrifying the homeowner and online viewers, and still nobody knows what the creature is. It's a naked, humanoid creature attempting to hide behind the bushes and trees. Its eyes are aglow, its teeth are huge, sharp, and jagged, and its skin is a pale pinkish color. It looks completely extraterrestrial. The mysterious nature of the clip has resulted in a slew of potential answers, including aliens and other cryptid creatures, but skeptics discuss costumes. However, its features seem to be too real to be a costume or prop. But who knows? Was this a real alien or undiscovered creature caught on security camera? Or is it simply a hoax like skeptics are saying?
The fuck is that in the woods? Hello? Hello?
Uh-huh. May I help you? May I help you?
What the hell? Did someone in the unit get a new dog? It's the middle of the night. Finally.
Did someone in the unit get a new dog? Oh my God. Dog. Hell. What the hell? What
That's my voice.
the hell?
That's my voice.
Well, if it weren't for my old dogs and the good Lord, they'd have me strung.
This insane Bigfoot encounter has recently resurfaced on September 15th, 2024. Two men were out alone in the woods on the hunt for the elusive Bigfoot. After investigating for some time, they locate a supposed Bigfoot, and they get dangerously close.
Rick, I'm going back to the camp.
Despite literally being attacked, it seems the men were able to escape with their lives, as they were able to upload this video. But take a look at their captivating footage. Not only did they capture Bigfoot's face close up here when it trampled them, but they also caught some pretty good shots of it walking around. The flashlight just exposes it enough for us to see. Analyzing the face here, its features seem very real and distinct. To its bone structure, to its mouth, and to its human-like eyes. The encounter seems rather compelling, but what do you guys think?
Let's talk about one of the craziest moments in Mexican TV history, the Locomia TV incident. Now, before I show you a bit of this pretty terrifying video, let's break it down a little bit. On April 1993, famous pop synth group Locomia would be performing in one of the most popular weekend TV shows of the time, Siempre en Domingo. But Locomia's huge rise to fame came with a lot of drama, betrayal, and replacements, which had a lot of their fans pretty pissed off at the record label. This sentiment would end up showing at Locomia's performance at this TV show. They would be performing one of the most popular songs. Notice that as they would keep panning to the crowd, there'd be a lot of fans booing and giving them a thumbs down. So I had the host Raúl Velasco to confront one of them and tell them this.
¿Sabes qué significa esto?
Que no los queremos.
No. Significa, esta seña la hacían los emperadores romanos cuando dictaban la muerte de los cristianos. ¿Quieres que muera un joven que viene a cantar para agradar a la juventud? ¿Quieres que muera?
Nosotros no nos referíamos a eso. Lo único que queremos decir es que ellos no son Locomia. Los anteriores Locomia no se fueron por propia voluntad. Ellos los desplazaron. Están robando. No es... Straight up just gaslighting, being like, you're wishing them to unalive. However, as Locomia continued to perform, there would be an abrupt commercial break, the host coming back stating that the group had just been assaulted.
Pero si vienen a agredir a otros seres humanos aquí, la puerta les espera para que abandonen esta casa. Esta casa es de paz, de concordia y de tranquilidad.
It's pretty crazy. This incident has sparked so many conversations that this is just straight up disrespect. This person said the problem is that the girl scratched the group member's face. And this person straight up just called the host toxic and dramatic. Listen, it's terrifying that fandom can get this intense, where internal problems with a celebrity or group can lead to situations like this. Which, listen, I get it, you're frustrated, but violence is not the answer. What do you guys think? Should the fans have the right to protest against what they didn't like about the group, without the violence, of course? Or did they take it too far? Let me know. Let's talk about one of the craziest moments in Mexican TV history, the Locomia TV incident. Now, before I show you a bit of this pretty terrifying video, let's break it down a little bit. it. On April 1993, famous pop synth group Locomia would be performing in one of the most popular weekend TV shows of the time, Siempre en Domingo. But Locomia's huge rise to fame came with a lot of drama, betrayal, and replacements, which had a lot of their fans pretty pissed off at the record label. This sentiment would end up showing at Locomia's performance at this TV show. They would be performing one of the most popular songs. Notice that as they would keep panning to the crowd, there'd be a lot of fans booing and giving them a thumbs down. So I had the host Raúl Velasco to confront one of them and tell them this.
¿Sabes qué significa esto?
Que no los queremos.
No. Significa, esta seña la hacían los emperadores romanos cuando dictaban la muerte de los cristianos. ¿Quieres que muera un joven que viene a cantar para agradar a la juventud? ¿Quieres que muera?
Nosotros no nos referíamos a eso. Lo único que queremos decir es que ellos no son Locomía. Los anteriores Locomía no se fueron por propia voluntad. Ellos los desplazaron. Están robando. No es...
Straight up just gaslighting, being like, you're wishing them to unalive. However, as Locomia continued to perform, there would be an abrupt commercial break, the host coming back stating that the group had just been assaulted.
Pero si vienen a agredir a otros seres humanos aquí, la puerta les espera para que abandonen esta casa. Esta casa es de paz, de concordia y de tranquilidad.
It's pretty crazy. This incident has sparked so many conversations that this is just straight up disrespect. This person said the problem is that the girl scratched the group member's face. And this person straight up just called the host toxic and dramatic. Listen, it's terrifying that fandom can get this intense, where internal problems with a celebrity or group can lead to situations like this. Which, listen, I get it, you're frustrated, but violence is not the answer. What do you guys think? Should the fans have the right to protest against what they didn't like about the group, without the violence, of course? Or did they take it too far? Let me know.
If you're looking for some fucked up movies that just might make you sick, I got you, because I'm back on my bullshit. I'm Chuck. I'd love to be your movie guy. Hit the like button, give me a follow, and this is 5 fucked up movies that will make you sick. Found is not an easy watch, and it's about this little boy that finds out that his brother is a serial killer, and pay attention to the TV screens in this one for the next slide. Found is an incredibly fucked up film. If you made it through Found and you paid attention to the TV screens, his older brother was watching a film called Headless. And Headless is the film that was playing in Found. Listen, this movie is low budget, but it goes fucking hard and it absolutely rips and will make you sick. We Are the Flesh pushes the boundaries of everything, and it's about 2 siblings that are wandering around a post-apocalyptic city, and they go into one of the last buildings that is standing. They meet a man, and the man tries to strike up a deal with them in order for them to survive, and the things that he asks them to do are absolutely incredibly fucked up. This is heavy trigger warnings, but this movie rips. Skinless is about a brilliant medical researcher named Dr. Peter Poole who contracts cancer in the prime of his career. He is working on a new drug to cure cancer, and he uses himself as a guinea pig. And look behind me, the fucking results are so fucking gnarly. Skinless absolutely rips. Eyes of a Stranger is an oldie but goodie starring a very young Jennifer Jason Leigh, and she is a newswoman who lives in this building and suspects that one of the men living in the building is a serial killer who has been raping and murdering women. This one's gnarly. It's a little bit older, but it's one of my all-time favorites because it's an absolute fucking banger. So let me know in the comments if these movies, if you've seen them, if they made you sick. I'm Chuck. I'd love to be your movie guy. Hit that like button. Give me a follow.
I can't believe people like this existed. In 1897, the townspeople of Green Olive, Oklahoma, claimed to have seen a man triple the size of any other man coming in and out of the wooded area that surrounded the town. A group of men, angered at the potential threat, stormed the woods looking for the supposed giant. After many hours of searching, the group stumbled across a ladder connected to a tree. One of the men, with a big grin on his face, said, "Don't worry, I'll make this quick." Shortly after, he climbed the ladder until he was no longer visible. 45 minutes passed, and the man had still not returned, causing the other men to become concerned. One by one, each man disappeared after attempting to climb the ladder, until there was only one man left. Even though he was terrified, the last remaining man climbed the ladder attached to the gigantic tree. After almost an hour of climbing, the man reached the top, and to his surprise, there was a beautiful home at the top of the tree with a giant door at the front. The scared man slowly walked up to the front door and, with shaking hands, opened it. To his surprise, he saw his friend sitting around a table playing poker with the giant. The giant looked at the man and said, "Hello, I'm Tiny Tim." And all the men would laugh, and one of the men telling Tiny Tim, "I love you, man." Tiny Tim would stand up from the table and say, "I'm glad you finally made it. I heard you had the most meat on your bones."
This man will never film TikToks again. In the United States, a guy was filming a TikTok all by himself at home. But when he watched his video before posting, he discovered something that wasn't supposed to be there. This is a must-watch, so keep your eyes glued to the screen until the end. You won't believe what happens next. As he's recording his TikTok, he's completely alone, or so he thinks. But here's the twist, folks. During the playback, something chilling appears in the background, something that defies explanation. This isn't your typical ghost story. It's real, and it's spine-tingling. If you're loving this mystery, tap that follow button now, and don't forget to drop a comment right here. Right now, what he saw in the video has left him sleepless, for nights questioning his very reality. It's not something you can easily forget, and he's not alone as the video plays on. You'll see it too, and trust me, it's not what you'd expect. We're talking goosebumps on your arms scary.
But yeah, speaking of milk and tuna fish, you hear about those killer whales killing all those great white sharks?
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Have you heard about it?
I've seen it.
Dude, it's,
Like more than normal?
yeah, it was like this group of killer whales, orca?
Yeah,
Right?
orcas, yeah.
Yeah.
Orcs?
Yeah. Let's not call them killer whales, okay?
Well, they're
Not-
killing.
I know, not every one.
Those
not
would be
every
kill-
one of them, though.
I know, but those were killer whales.
Okay, all right.
In like a week span or something, they killed like 25 great white sharks.
What?
Yeah.
What is this vendetta about?
Don't know. Maybe it's their territory.
That's weird.
They just kill them. Like they'll like go and like bite their like.
So they don't eat them.
They bite them?
So no,
Yeah.
they're not killing them. They're murdering those
Yeah.
sharks.
Yeah. Killer
That's-
whales.
Murderer
Andy.
whales. Murderer whales.
Murder whales.
Dahmer
Aren't,
whales.
aren't they technically dolphins? And that's why they don't know why they're doing it. It could just be in
Porpoise?
something like that.
They do it on porpoise.
Hey.
Yes.
Taking a look at some groundbreaking footage of the infamous Bigfoot. A man was flying around his drone one day. He was flying it over the woods, attempting to get some really cool footage of the forest and the wildlife. But what he eventually captured was not at all what he expected. As he flew the drone above the trees, he unintentionally captures what could be some of the most convincing evidence of Bigfoot ever. A hairy bipedal creature is seen making its way down the snowy path. It leisurely walks along, unaware of the presence of the drone above. Skeptics immediately tried to debunk the footage by calling the creature a gorilla. But the way this thing walks is just so human. You can tell when it's a gorilla or primate by the way they hunch over when they walk around. And judging by this walk here, this doesn't look like one at all. Also, we need to consider the fact that the footage was taken somewhere in the US, and the US is not home to any primates. So I'll leave this one up to you, the viewers. Is this real footage of Bigfoot?
If you saw this man, run. During the late 1800s in Boogieville, Connecticut, there was a guy named Harry Mann who owned a small motel that resided on an island 1 mile off the main land. This meant that all guests had to take a ferry to reach the motel. Over the years, the motel started getting a bad rep because of how creepy Harry was. Many guests reported him crawling through the vents and spying on them while they were sleeping. Another thing that guests didn't like was that he owned 3 hippos that also lived on the island. In the year 1978, Harry started getting secretly investigated by the authorities after many guests of his started disappearing. Over the following weeks, undercover officers started staying the night at the motel to try and keep surveillance on Harry. But one night, an undercover officer named Reed Enright got a knock on his door, and when he answered, it was Harry, and he told Reed, "There is something I must show you," and he walked him over to where he kept the hippos. Harry then asked, "Do you want to feed the hippos?" And Reed agreed. But as soon as Reed leaned over the railing, Harry attempted to push him in, but during the process, Harry himself ended up falling into the hippo enclosure. In just a few minutes, the whole island was filled with the authorities, and the remains of Harry were nowhere to be seen. Over the following weeks, the motel was shut down and destroyed, and the families of the 30-plus victims were notified of what happened at that motel.
Creepy videos you didn't know about.
Hey, Dad, look at Carly.
Do you see it? What was that?
What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Get up here, Carly!
Does anyone know what the heck that is?
We're asleep, and she gets up to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, oh man, I have to go to the bathroom too. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom in the main bathroom outside the room. I go out, I come back in, and I'm like, why'd you turn my light on my side of the bed? Like, it's 12, we're going to bed, like we're in bed. She's like, I didn't do it, I thought you did. I'm like, okay, well, somebody's trying to get our attention. My phone rings. It's my little sister. She says, hey, Bub, sorry, are you awake? And I'm like, I am now. And I go, my light just came on. She goes, that's why I was calling you. She said, is Nicole there? I'm like, yeah. She put her on speaker. She said, Nicole, I don't want to get personal, but, and this is how the conversation went. Did your mom have miscarriages before you? And she's like, yeah. She goes, I'm seeing 3. And the reason why I'm saying that is there are 3 people in the room right now trying to get your attention. And they're your 2 brothers and your sister that weren't born. And they're in the room right now with you. Talk to them. So I did. She did. She's like, this is crazy. But I'm like, no, go ahead. Just talk to them. So she's talking. Then I take 1, 2 pictures while she's talking. That's the one green with the dresser.
Oh, that was
we
that.
saw that outside of the picture. And we both were too scared to look.
And this is right after the phone call.
Right after the phone call. So we take that photo and the both of us see it outside of the photo and went, oh my God. Like, I was afraid to look.
Right.
To see if I got it. Because neither one of us even, it didn't matter if I got it on the phone because we saw it in person. And then what we saw is on this side, I had a little short dresser and we see one just go down the dresser and with no taking no photos. And so those kinds of things kind of, was one of those things that freaked her out.
Horror movie fans, I finally got an update on the film I Will Never Leave You Alone. I put out a video about this movie when I covered Fright Fest. I loved this movie and it had a scene in it that had my jaw on the floor. Like, it's been weeks and I still see it every day. I can't wait until more people see what I'm talking about. But this film is about this guy named Richard. He's on parole from prison, and he gets this job looking after this house that has an ancient presence living inside. He's locked inside this house for 6 days, and he has to light these candles to help rid the house of the presence that lives there. And again, this movie has a moment that just had my jaw on the floor. I can't wait to talk about this scene. I am so fucked up. But I told you all that I would let you know when this film was going to hit video on demand, and I finally have that answer. I Will Never Leave You Alone will be available to rent starting October 18th. I highly recommend you put this on your radar. Everybody's gonna be talking about it. Spooky house, dark presence, a scene that you will never ever forget. What more do you want?
They were alone in the toilets when they see this. Two Japanese guys were doing a night walk trial when they heard some strange noises coming from the toilet, so they go to check it out and see something terrifying.
This 問題の女子トイレの方に、はい、行ってみましょうか。じゃあ実際ここで自殺があったってことですか？そういうことですね。例によって裏は山なんですね。はい、そうです。行ってみましょう。
They search for a while, and after they find a pair of shoes, things take a turn for the worst.
これはレディースの、靴いたずらやっただとは思うんですけどね。いたずらする。まあ不気味ですね。靴が。今回の、まあこのレポートですけれども、まあ最終的に、まあ、靴が置いてあった。はい。そういう感じですよね。はい、そうですね。まあこういう。
We can see a creepy pale face emerge from the darkness behind one of the guys, and we can actually see it twisting its head sideways, slowly getting closer. As the person holding the camera gets startled and turns around to run, we can see the same figure now underneath the door trying to get in. They believe this was the spirit of Hanako-san, a young girl who lost her life inside the toilets, and now haunts them.
A disease has been found recently. There isn't a name for it just yet, so we will call it the virus for now. This new virus is distorting the faces of women, men and children all across the nation. It is not yet global. It not only distorts the face, but it makes the victim dangerous to themselves and / or others.
Here are the strangest things that were found in the middle of nowhere. Back in 2014, two German friends were walking through a forest that they used to play in as kids, when suddenly they noticed two pipes sticking out of the ground. They continued to walk until they stumbled upon a hidden doorway that went underground. They entered the creepy corridors until they stumbled into a room that was flooded and had a weird looking machine. That's when they realized they were in an abandoned control bunker that was used by the Soviets during the Cold War. Next, in 2016, a group was flying in a helicopter over the forests of West Russia, and they spotted another helicopter that was abandoned in a swamp. This turned out to be an Mi-6 model that originated in 1956, and it was the largest and fastest helicopter at the time. It was revealed that the helicopter had been there since 1981, when it traveled from Moscow and it crashed because of engine failure. But thankfully, the crew of it did live to tell the tale. And finally, on Route 90 in Texas, you can find a Prada store that's surrounded by nothing but desert. This was actually art that was made back in 2005 and cost $120,000 to make. Inside the store, there's even real products from their 2005 Prada collection. But unfortunately, the doors aren't real, so you can't actually buy them.
Police have arrested a Chucky doll for threatening members of the public with a knife. This month, police in Mexico arrested a doll. Terrifyingly, they had been made aware of a Chucky doll who, along with its owner, were threatening the public in Monclova. If you're not already aware, the doll comes from the 1988 film Child's Play. In the movie, the serial killer turns into the doll, which then begins a terrifying crime spree. The owner of the doll has only been identified as Carlos N. He was reportedly scaring the public with the doll, threatening them with a knife and demanding money off them. Both Carlos and the doll were charged with disturbing the peace and putting others' integrity at risk. The doll was handcuffed and taken to the police station. They both had mugshots taken, and there has been some controversy over whether or not the officers were taking their job seriously. The police officer who put cuffs onto the Chucky doll has been reprimanded.
A man explains that he recently moved into a small wooden house in a very remote village in northern Italy, and after living in the city for so long, he was really looking forward to the peace and quiet and fresh air of this remote location. Unable to resist the wooden house, he purchases it. However, after a few weeks, he began to hear strange noises in the house at night, from time to time, mostly emanating from within the attic, from things like thumps, loud bangs and creaks, and sometimes what sounds like something being dragged across the floor. Mind you, the attic had already been thoroughly inspected along with the rest of the house before he moved in. On one night, he hears these creepy sounds, but this time, it wasn't stopping, so he mustered the courage to go and check it out. Take a look. Suddenly, a chair in the attic violently moves on its own with a lot of force. Completely full of fear, he just drops his phone and runs out of the house. After some time to regain his composure, he quickly retrieves his phone. But still shaken up by this event, he calls his friend and decides to stay at his house for a few days. He has no clue what resides in the attic and believes that it is haunted.
Looking for something different to watch this spooky season? Yeah, that's right. We're kicking spooky season off a couple days early because I just can't wait. I know you're getting ready to see retreads of all the same old movies over and over and over again. I'm Chuck. I'd love to be your movie guy. Hit that like button, give me a follow, and this is 5 underrated horror thrillers that nobody talks about for spooky season. Beyond the Black Rainbow is a criminally underrated film about a woman that is in a psychiatric research facility commune, and she's heavily sedated by this doctor who may or may not have very harmful intentions. Beyond the Black Rainbow is a slept-on banger. Don't Listen is about this couple that moves into a new home with their 9-year-old son, but little do they know the whole entire neighborhood talks behind their back and calls their home the house with the voices, and the little kid's the first to notice. This is on Netflix and it's a fucking banger. Cry Wolf is about these 8 seniors at a boarding school and they play these games of lies. And listen, this one digs deep. It got really bad reviews when it came out, but it's a fucking banger and it proves that even if you're telling the truth, not everybody's gonna believe you. Run is about a woman who is confined to a wheelchair who is taken care of by her mother, but she soon starts to wonder if there's something dark and sinister about her mom. Listen, Run absolutely fucking rips. I don't know why anybody doesn't talk about Stoker. Not only does it star Nicole Kidman, but it was also directed by Old Boy's Park Chan-wook. Listen, this is a twisty and turny thriller that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's about this woman whose father dies and her uncle comes to live with her, yet she didn't know that the uncle even existed. This is an absolute fucking banger. Let me know down in the comments if you have seen any of these. I hope you have a wonderful spooky season, and I have so much content coming it may be overwhelming. I'm Chuck. I'd love to be your movie guy. Hit that like button. Give me a follow.